Ou deixa sua bunda ardendo, ou dá tapa, 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 pra caralho.
Welcome to Empowerment Unleashed Now, exploring your inner authority. I'm Michelle Jones.
And I'm Scott Collins.
And this is the place to connect with your highest, most essential self, your most empowered self, where you can explore your inner authority and learn from others and learn more about yourself.
We talk with fascinating people from all walks of life about transformation, healing, hypnosis, astrology, physical experience of being human, and heart-centered living.
We're so thankful that you're here with us. Let's dive right on in. Hi, and welcome to Empowerment Unleashed Now. I am a cosmic study buddy, a friend throughout the cosmos, a galactic cousin that's here with my brother from another mother. Who are you today? Did I even say who I was? I don't know.
But from the same star system.
The same star system. I think I'm Michele R. Jones today. And are you Scott A. Collins?
Yes.
All right, that was a good guess. All right, guys. So today, episode 41, we are entering Leo season. 'Tis the season of the heart. And this episode is going to be a little bit different. It's called Led by the Heart, and it's episode 41. So Scott and I are both little numbers freaks. And so like a net 5, which according to Christopher Witecki's astrology step system is a 5. And that's Gemini led. And so one of the things that I think that Leo, and Scott is actually the Leo rising.
Net 5, 14 degree.
14.
So 41, 14.
Yeah.
I need to be on today.
Needs to be on, dude. I mean, this whole Led by the Heart, we're going to do like our whole Radiant Heart episode next time. But from an empowerment standpoint, this is really important because I wanted to go back in time for a moment, back to about a month ago when I had shared with y'all that a dear friend and a mentor of mine and someone who was really instrumental in the coming forward in the creation of this show and birthing it was Brenda Davis. And Brenda was or is an Aries. Her birth date, so she would have been a 23 degree Aries.
Another net 5.
Another net 5, which is really interesting. And you know, the reason that we talk about astrology at all from an empowerment standpoint, and just like to connect all of this to the foundation of one of the things that we do, is that you were born to an hour, to a minute, to a second, to like in longitude and latitude to a degree, like so specific that there's only one imprint in the universe of you that looks like that. There never will be again. That's how uniquely, right, empowered.
Yeah, it's your celestial snowflake. Is what I like to say.
I love that, Scott. The celestial snowflake.
Yeah, it's like one of a kind.
It's one of a kind. And I feel like for many of us, we've been taught so many interesting things about empowering and strengthening our minds. We've really, especially those of us that come from North America and the United States, we value getting a lot done. We value navigating lots of bureaucracy and creating it. Like there's some very interesting things that we collectively have valued. And one of the things that I think that we undervalue in comparison to, I'm going to talk about like a Mediterranean culture or like Central or South American culture, we undervalue the heart, you know, and this is like a huge generalization. There are so many heart-based, heart-centered people out there. Like I go into, a grocery store. I go into a place like people smile. People, I'm never met with like anger and ick with people. Like, yeah, sometimes it's 95 degrees right now in Nashville on the road. Things get a little bit hot and bothered, but people generally are pretty, they present themselves kindly out there. But our culture as a whole has not been led by our hearts. And like, I want to start asking like an empowerment question for contemplation, just to be with, kind of like a koan, like there might be an answer, there might not be an answer, there might be an answer sometimes there might not be an answer. But what does life look like for you when you lead with your heart? So, what does your life look like when you lead with your heart? And I have been in a 32-day experience of that. As Gemini rising, I tend to be, I'm super intuitive, but I also have a lot of monkey minds, chitter chatter that runs the show and never should have, right? Like, I think that we grow in wisdom and we realize, like, wow, I should value the feelings as opposed to the doings, right? And I really made the pilgrimage to Oklahoma for Brenda's celebration of life. And so along that journey, I wanted to lead the whole time with my heart, like the drive out, the drive back. Like, what does that feel like? What does that look like? And it was going to be a sad journey, right? However, there's still opportunity for empowerment in that because there's opportunity for growth and for learning. And for me, what it's been is being able to hold my heart as a priority. Okay, that's the first thing. And then deciding from there, what does my life look like now that my heart's even a priority? And I didn't even know that I had a picture of what it would look like because I had never led my life just from that. I would say I was a combo. I was definitely a head and heart girl. So I decided that in this process of grieving the loss of a mentor, a friend, a sister, that I would just be where I am, as opposed to what I would have done before is probably certain social or professional obligations that I really wasn't at my best for or ready for. I would have just plowed through them. And I can tell you this, one of the most disempowering things that we can do is to ignore or shelf feelings that are around some very profound shifts in our lives, in our world, right? There are certain things, like we're all adults, so there's certain things that you're going to have to like just shelf, right? Like, you're at work, coworker is like a real bugger that day, and you have this feeling like I am totally irate, like I want to freak the hell out. Well, you can't. It's a professional setting. It's not going to work. So you're going to have to do something else with that feeling for that moment, right? This is more of that heart base. Like, and if your heart's pissed, it's pissed. Like in that moment, like you might have had to like, just shelf your heart for a second and be like, okay, heart, you're okay. And you know what? We're going to visit this at 5:01, when we're not sitting next to this person in some cubicle or whatever it is. But when I entered into this heart space, what I was really amazed at was what my world started to look like and feel like, because it was a much more connected place than when I was just coming from the head and the heart. Head was first, heart was second. And I think, Scott, like you as a Capricorn sun, I know that this is like a balance that you and I share, because like you have your Pisces moon, like my Cancer sun, like my heart, right? That nurturing heart. And I think that sometimes like people go away from that to protect. It's just a protection mechanism.
Right. Which is step 0. It's like the healthy relationship with protection or boundaries. The balanced relationship with that is like fundamental.
Mm-hmm. It's the boundary issue. And so the 0 that Scott's referencing is from, again, the step system, which really the step system is really like a numerological decoding of the degrees and what, you can interpret from the degree, like on your chart. Like you go to Astro Cafe and you could like see, do you have anything that sits at 0 degrees? Scott, don't you have 0?
Yeah, my Saturn is at 0 Cancer.
Your Saturn is at 0 Cancer. Yeah, that's an interesting.
So Capricorn ruled, but in Cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, the heart, you can't skip it.
No.
You can't skip it. You have to live it. You have to feel it. And even when it feels uncomfortable or sad, not graceful, not congruent, how can you actually still allow that to lead you and not lead you down a vibrational descension path? Right? Because like for me, I was feeling this big push-pull, right? Because I've really been like grooving. I've been in the big work, if you will. As Victoria Pipo would say, one of our guests, she's an awesome boundary and protection healer, and kind of mentor to people, and she really focuses on that. But in doing this big work, I really recognized that the duality, of life, the beauty, of cycles. The more you can just lean in to what is, one of Brenda's favorite expressions, it is what it is. And I realized that a lot of my shutting down of my heart is probably based in a collapsing of feelings that occurred during my childhood. And I visited that with a colleague of mine in a professional setting during this last 30 days. And she and I talked about it, felt through it. And it was this very profound unearthing on my timeline of when did I stop leading from the heart? Because most children lead from the heart. Most. There are kids that lead from their heads. Absolutely. There's heady kids, right? No question. Most kids lead from their heart. So like when you see that pure joy, with children laughing at a playground, or, just being with like their dog, or just being beside their friend, or just sometimes going to school is really exciting. Like that's like all heart-based. So I realized that as a child on the cusp of adolescence, that was when I decided that I would no longer lead by my heart. Because remember, this is an 11-year-old making this assessment, right? This isn't a 50-something-year-old making this assessment. It's an 11-year-old that I never wanted, because I observed somebody very intimately, a parent of mine, not my father. That's the big hint I'll give. That had out of control feelings, and they made people very uncomfortable. They were scary sometimes. They were very mean. And for me, I decided that that wasn't a good way to live. So I would do the opposite.
So was her response to her feelings, you mean? Her reactions to her feelings were those things, right?
It was the
feelings
reactions to her
themselves. The
feelings.
feelings themselves.
Yeah, I don't even think
Yeah.
that she responded to her feelings. Like, I don't even think she knew
Reacted.
to respond to her feelings. It was all
Right.
reactionary.
It was unconscious.
Sure.
Yeah.
It was all unconscious reactionary. Probably a lot of karmic stuff, probably a lot of trauma stuff, like whatever. It's not
Yeah.
for me. That's between her and God. But I legitimately recognized that that childlike mind was really put off by these big displays of what I perceived were feelings. I didn't know they were reactions.
Mhm.
Okay. I didn't know. That's where you're a kid. You can't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
So, in the interest of full disclosure, when I recognized this in the session with my colleague, I thought to myself, you know what? Okay, I have a choice to be like, holy shift. Like, I have not been living in my feelings in my heart for like 40 something years. Like, this is fucked up. Right. Like I could have responded to that feeling that I was having in the moment of this realization. Right. I could have responded like somehow I didn't do something right. Okay. Within me. Okay. And I instead gave myself like a really like a nice like pat on the heart and just was like, you know what? You did the best you could with what you had. And now you know. And you could not know what you didn't know then.
Yes.
And I just responded to myself in a heart-based way, because the other thing is that I would use the mind to internally dialogue with myself and shame myself. Why didn't I know this sooner? I've been through therapy. I'm a hypnotherapist. I've been in therapy since I'm 12 years old. You know what I mean? Like, what? It's the response. So if I'm going to let my heart continue to lead me, my heart better lead for me first and foremost, my heart for myself.
Yeah. And I think those are for listeners, a way to reframe some of those things is if you're sensing that you are shaming yourself, or judging yourself, or blaming yourself, you're probably not leading from the heart.
Yes.
That it's actually, it's like the heart being the behind the heart, the mind and first, and the heart being succumbing to that, whereas it should be just the mind being mindful of the heart is the way it should be, not the other way around. So like if you're experiencing any of those things, check in, because you're not leading from your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Those are, because we all experience those things sometimes, right? And like then we can let go of them and not judge them, and then it's okay, wow, that's not, I'm judging myself, shaming myself, I'm feeling like shit kind of because about this decision or like this outcome or whatever. And that is, stuck in the mind, putting the cart before the horse, which the horse is the heart.
And I think that we have been programmed so readily in North America to lead with the mind, to protect the heart, which I'm not saying protection is a bad thing, but I think that what that means to some people, protection, is to just close it off. Like the nuances we have never explored as a collective culture in the way, for instance, just go on the streets in Greece or in Spain, go into Mexico, go into Costa Rica, go into Colombia, go into Ecuador, and you see the engagement of the way people are speaking and the time that they take and the touch and just their tone. They're focused on their heart, communication, and the person in front of them. Because, like, I know my grandma, right? Like, comes from a 900-year history in Spain. And if you asked my grandma how she was, you better have the time to really know, like, how she's feeling, because she's going to speak from the heart and she's going to take time to do that. And so I think that, like, a heart-led life looks like it steps outside of the constraints of the time-space continuum. And rather than getting more done, it's actually about getting more love within oneself. And I just have been in this big aha moment because on this pilgrimage to Brenda's celebration of life, it was like kind of being blanketed and bubbled and stepping out of time. Because, like, you're driving in this car, like you're with the collective, and like you're just driving along, but you're in your bubble, right? And America is a beautiful country to drive. We're blessed with beautiful roads. And it began with this heart-based realization of holding multiple emotions. Like, I felt the open road ahead of me and the possibilities of this pilgrimage that was going to be heart-led. I also felt a deep sadness for going to, the celebration for my friend who is transitioned, right? And the complexities of being able to know that it's okay for the heart to feel really sad. It's okay for the heart to feel angry. But how we respond to that is where the loving, empowered, internal, to me, the reverse, the reversal of the anger, like it actually, it dissolves it when you decide to love yourself. Like, I'm really pissed that Brenda died. I'm pissed. I'm in my anger stage. I drove yesterday. I'm not proud of it. I pulled out my New Yorker. I didn't like that somebody was doing 23 miles an hour in a 30-mile-an-hour zone. I decided that I was going to put my directional on and pass them in a turning lane on a 2-lane road. It was like that. Like, I didn't have patience, with others. And rather than turning it and being like, wow, Michelle, you're acting like an asshole. It's like, what does your heart need right now? And it actually gave me an answer. And it said it needed space. It needed space. And I couldn't believe it because it was like an unconscious heart-based response.
Yeah.
This shit works.
That's the response, right? Yeah, because there's no anger is okay. There's no bad feelings or wrong feelings. They just, our feelings are our feelings. Like, and living in the heart allowed you to experience anger from a different vantage point than if we're thinking there's something wrong with being angry.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bad feeling, especially if it's if you're experiencing anger as part of the grief stages.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very natural and very important to allow that to really move through us.
Mm-hmm.
And again, to circle back, it's always about our response to it. That's it. That's where we transform and ascend.
totally. I mean, the other thing I was going to ask you, bro, is like, not all feelings come from the heart.
True. Our mind can affect our feelings.
Our
Yeah.
minds, and that was really for me the like
Yes.
icing on the cake was that aha moment.
Yeah, that's big.
And it's the it was this kind of thing. It was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can ever go into this store again because I was going to be there with Brenda, or like, how am I going to go get a gluten-free taco? Because that's what I always did with her. And it was my mind creating these feelings of somehow like she's gone forever. Not that she's transitioned, not that she's transformed, but that like she's just out. And I really encourage listeners to start, like, because if I can do it, and I didn't do it for like a lot of years, just identifying these things can really start to begin to sort out, like, it's so hot right now in Nashville. It's like, where is the AC leaking out from? Like, where is the energy like leaking? And I realized that the leaks were really about my attention and my intention towards myself. And Leos, I think that one of the gifts of Leo is that they know themselves. They know who they are. And, it's a gross generalization, but a good one that I think stands true. And I encourage
A balanced Leo state. Yeah.
a balanced Leo state. Yeah. And I encourage people because see, so some really cool shit went down when I decided to lead from the heart, right? Or just I wasn't leading from the heart. My heart was in charge. That's the best way to put it. Okay. It was in charge as opposed to this whole crazy ass thing being in charge. The mind. Just So get back into the office on Monday, having been in Oklahoma. It's a long journey, but a powerful one. And a woman that I had seen on the 30th of June as a client was back in my office. And on the 30th of June, I was deep into this grief process and I said to her, I really feel like I know you, but I can't place you. Can't place you. Like, I'm just not sure who, where I know you from. And long and short of it, we never we never discovered where we knew each other from. She comes back in the Monday after Oklahoma, and she's wearing a shirt. And she's wearing an Earth, Wind, and Fire shirt from the 2018 like Let's Groove tour. Well, Brenda got us 10 tickets to the Skybox, to the Earth, Wind, and Fire Let's Groove concert in Nashville in 2018. Okay, so this woman is wearing a shirt. I just get back from Oklahoma celebrating Brenda, and obviously that concert had been on my mind because it was just like a killer fun night. Like, there were 10 of us like having fun in the Skybox. So innocently, as Monday conversation can go, the woman says to me, "How was your weekend, Michelle?" And, here I am trying to live and lead and let my heart be in charge, like leading from the heart. Like, let the heart lead, like the heart's in charge. Da, 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 da. Normally I would have been like, it was interesting. And I just wouldn't have said anything else. And so I was like, you know what? My heart is going to answer this. And I said, it was hard, but really beautiful. So the woman says, "Oh, I'm sorry. What happened?" And I said, "Well, went to a funeral for a friend in Oklahoma." This woman looks at me and goes, "I know whose funeral you went to. I know Brenda." I said, "Oh My God, Taylor, the last time I saw you was at Molly's funeral in 2016. She becomes very emotional. I was in my office. As much as I was in my feelings, I didn't become emotional because I was in my office. So I kind of had the professional cap on, you know? Um, she's astounded that like this connection is being made. And the funny thing is that I was having a really tough start to my morning, right? Like I'm finding that my grief is hitting me when I wake up because I come fully into consciousness and I realize something's missing in my world, right? My friend is missing. So she is like tripping because I am wearing a necklace that looks like something that one of the dudes from Earth, Wind, and Fire would actually wear, like big ass agate hematite necklace thing that I have. I mean, it weighs like 50 pounds. I decided to wear it that day because Molly wanted that heavy ass necklace. And Brenda got it for her for some occasion. And when Molly transitioned and passed away, Molly's sister gave it back to Brenda because she knew Brenda spent a fortune on it. And needless to say, I joked around with Brenda that when she moved back to Oklahoma, she wouldn't have a need for that necklace. And that I would love to keep it here in Nashville where it told me it wanted to stay. And the fact that I was wearing, because I never wear this damn thing because it's so heavy, but I was missing Molly and Brenda so much. I was like, this is a way that I can carry them with me today to get through my day. That makes my heart feel love. So I'm going to wear it. So I tell Taylor, I can't believe I'm wearing this. She's like, I can't believe any of this, Michelle. Right. And we're really struck by the synchronicities, the whole thing, right? So I say to her, Taylor, I got to find like a 2018 shirt. Like I have to find like a concert shirt. She's like, yeah, you do that. Like, good idea. I was like, really? I wasn't going to ask her for hers. So I go online, I look for the Let's Groove, Earth, Wind, and Fire, and I'm going to hold up what I got. And then for listeners on the podcast, I'll tell you guys. So, okay, so this is the shirt, Earth, Wind, Fire, right there are the guys. Fabulous.
The Jupiter symbol up top.
Uh-huh.
It is. Yeah.
Okay. And then look at the back. Okay. So it has like Earth, Wind, Fire. It has Let's Groove. It has all the places that they went, right? But look at the actual date on the back of the shirt.
2018.
That says 2018. Correct. However, if you can see, it doesn't say Nashville in the cities listed.
Sure doesn't.
Okay. We were in Nashville. I can assure you that. Okay. So that's the second shirt that I got off of Poshmark. Shout out to Poshmark. Okay. Then the first shirt that I got, the first one, here it is. It's not gray. It's like an army green. Okay, so you got the same kind of setup, right? All the guys, Egyptian symbols. Everybody looks great.
There. Yeah.
Right? Okay. Then I'm going to turn it around to the backside of the t-shirt. Let's Groove. And look at that. What does that date say, Scott?
It's a little fuzzy. Does it say 2016 or 18?
It says 2054.
Whoa. Okay, I can't wait. Yeah, I remember that year.
You would. You totally would. So
that was a good one.
it was a good one.
Tour.
I was gonna ask you 2054. It was so yeah. the numbers, right? So I start thinking, okay, this is 3 sets of 18. Like, what is this? Like 18 in like Hebrew is chai, it means life. Like I'm thinking about like my friend, like the 3 of us. And then my head starts hurting because I'm trying to not use this dumbass. I'm trying to lead from the heart. So I call like a mystic friend and I tell her about this 2054 shit. Tamra, who I'm hoping is going to come on the podcast soon. Shout out to Tamra.
Hey, Tam.
So I called her and I said, I got the Earth, Wind, and Fire shirt because she was there. She was at the concert with us in the Skybox. I said, but it has the wrong date. She goes, what the hell date does that? I said, it is 2054. What? So the 2054 shirt has Nashville on it listed in the cities. Okay. So this whole leading by the heart thing. So Taylor and I were now like, not just like client and like, you know, me. It's now like, we know we're supposed to be friends, right? So she's leaving. And this is so fascinating because there's somebody coming in. I don't know him all that well. He's from California and isn't really the nicest of people sometimes. And Taylor was still emotional and he's like ignoring her and bitching about like something in traffic. And literally, as Taylor is leaving, this cardinal flies like right in front of her face, which is how Brenda believed that Molly would come to her, was as cardinals. And when I was in Oklahoma and I went to Brenda's place, there were 2 cardinals sitting on the fence at either end of the fence. And so I was like, you know, you can kind of believe that nothing is a miracle, or you can think that everything is a miracle. You can like lead by the heart, or you could shut it all down and never lead that way. Like, what I can say is that life looked different and more connected for me, even in the shit of grief and hurt and pain and suffering. I mean, my sleep is interrupted. You know, like I'm doing this with us now. I have a massive headache. Like I am not myself, and I will be myself again. In fact, I'll be a heart-based self. And so it's like I'm inviting folks into the space of the most empowered place that you can ever operate from is your heart. The reason why, you will know when you know that's where you're operating from. I'm not going to tell you like what to do, but I know this, you will know when you're doing it.
Yeah, I think that's when the quantum element of transformation steps in, where the observer affects the outcome. Like the heart, when the heart is in charge, the heart is affecting the outcome. It's affecting your experience. It's affecting everything that's reflected back to you. It's reflecting your perception.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like for me, what I realized in this last 32 days, but who's counting, is that when I travel, because those experiences are typically always new, like no 2 travel experiences are the same. Even if you're going the same place, it's going to be different people, different, you know, combinations. I realize that when I travel, people are always like, oh my God, you have so many positive experiences when you travel. People are so great to you and da-da-da-da-da. It's because I'm leading from my heart, because my head doesn't have a picture of what's going to happen yet. I have an intention in my heart of how things are going to go. Okay. Because that's why I'm going on a trip, right? I've set like this intention that I want to go have this experience, you know, and my heart, it's usually not my head, especially if it's for like just personal, you know? And so I started to realize that these very cool things happen when you lead from the place that is probably representing the most authentic part of you that can then become the most like empowered version of you.
Yeah.
And like people would say, "Oh, you're so nurturing. You're a very loving person. You're so caring. You take such good care of people." Okay, yeah, cool. But I wasn't living from my heart for me, from within me. I was doing the exact opposite and probably collapsing my heart and feelings to where they were just flat Stanley. So then I wouldn't hurt anybody.
Yeah, we have to include ourselves, right, in those intentions. That's to be truly living from the heart with the heart in charge. We must include ourselves in that.
Yeah.
And this is good. Like we're taping this on the verge of the Leo new moon. And new moons are all about the intention. So like with Leo ruling the heart, this is really good for our listeners to know that too, to really anchor in your intention, include yourself in your intentions.
Yeah, because I feel like we're just all like really study buddies together because this whole ascension process is a fascinating one. And to me, ascension is a learning of what your soul like came to actually experience. It's that profound and that simple. One of the things that I've realized is that time is jumpy right now. It's like jumpy. Like I was heading somewhere the other day. And it really wasn't it was like a nail appointment. But this is an interesting story too. So I had to be there at 9. This is when I was doing the 30 in the 30 zone when people were doing 23. And I was getting ready and I had to leave by like, I don't know, like 8:38. And it said 8:06. And I was like, wow, okay, I don't want to rush, but I need to be punctual. So I just said, okay, heart, what do you need? Like, what speed do you need to go at? And my heart told me I needed to slow down because I was liable to end up anxious if I was just like, rushing through and just pushing on, just plugging through, right? So I promise you, I look at the electronic leash, i.e. the phone again, and it says the time is 7:46.
Yeah.
What say you, physicist by degree only guy?
I mean, that to me is the epitome of Uranus at 0° Gemini.
Which means what? For those of us that don't know.
That means, 0 is the degree where anything can happen. All things are possible. Timelines can be accessed and shifted. And I guess that is proof to me of the illusion of time, which is continuing to start breakdown before us, and the ability to speed it up and slow it down, manipulate it. And maybe when the heart is in charge, you can actually materialize, even in little ways, something that you needed, that your heart needed. You needed an extra 20 minutes.
I needed that.
And you got more than you bargained for.
No, and then I even got a little bit more than I bargained for because.
And you got more. You got good and gooder. You got more and more.
More and more. So wait, so I get to the nail place and I'm there at 9:01. It wasn't perfect. It's 9:01. Person that does my nails, I adore her. She's not the most punctual of people. It's 9:16. I am a bit on edge and I don't enjoy waiting. I have no problem if you're going to be late. Just tell me that it'll be like 9:15 and then I'll roll in at 9:15 or 9:16. And we'll be fine. So I am starting to get hot under the collar. I'm like, why am I? And I'm starting to think these thoughts in my head. Why did I get here at 9:01? I could have been here at 9:15, right? And it's like the dumbass is taking over. And I was like, okay. And I'm not going to call myself a dumbass because I'm supposed to be coming from the heart. So I'm like, okay, your mind is being a bit aggressive right now. It's kind of just spinning on something. Just focus on something else. So I focused on envisioning the person that does my nails in front of me. And then all of a sudden, there she was. Okay. So as we're starting the process of my nails, I wanted to go inside and say, what was I so bothered by? Like, what did my heart tell me? Like, what? So I said, heart, why did you start to get pissed? Like, was it the mind and the minutes, or was it coming from the heart? And my heart's like, no, it's me. I was pissed. And it was pissed because it realized that Brenda would never be sitting next to me again getting a manicure. And I was sitting in the same seat where I last was when I was with her. So I was starting to self-shame, like I'm an asshole, I'm in this, I'm in that, like I'm human. And it was a prompt for me to recognize what is actually going on here, that you can understand your states of awareness, okay? And why you're experiencing what you are, how you are. And I kid you not, I'm sitting there and I'm having this epiphany. This is where it gets a little trippy, man. All of a sudden, somebody kisses me on the shoulder in the nail salon. And I'm thinking to myself, this is going to be a bad day because I'm going to have to pop somebody in the nose, right? And I'm like, who the fuck is doing this? I turn around and it's one of my dear women friends who I have never in all the years we've gone to the same nail place. There she was at the same time as me. So it wasn't going to be Brenda that was next to me. It was actually going to be Alicia.
Yeah. I think that is now, again, as the ascension frequency and vibe elevates, the universe gives us immediate, like really quick little small validations that you're going about it in the right, I don't even like the word right, but you're going about it in the true way. So that what the heart being the horse and the mind being the carriage, and you were mindful of your heart. You checked in.
Yes.
It wasn't the other way around. You had a small little epiphany, and then boom, a kiss on the cheek to validate that for you.
It just is showing me that we truly are entering a very different period than we have ever lived through before in our lifetimes. At least people that might be 84 and above have lived through Uranus and Gemini. But I believe in my heart that the direction that we are headed is almost one of the lands of instant karma. Like what you think about, like you bring about in quantum time.
Right. And also our ability to non-attach or access neutrality from a charged situation can bring instant karma relief. So I've had like a similar kind of funny experience recently when I left my laptop on a plane and didn't even know about it until I got to my house. And, the first thought is, what? O-F. What the fuck, And then how in the world, if ever, am I going to get this? And thought, well, I tried to call lost and found or whatever, but good luck with that. It's like 1,000 robots and then maybe a human being you might be able to talk to in a week. So that's your process when you leave something on a plane.
Yep.
And then I pretty much then sat down on the couch, and at first I kind of laughed and cried when I first found out. But then after all that, I just started thinking about what is or isn't lost and just started laughing hysterically.
Yes.
My partner was on on the couch with me, and she was kind of amazed that I was laughing about it so much. And I was just like, that.
Listen.
And like, then my phone rings 2 minutes
Yes.
later, and somebody in a weird, funny voice says, "Scott," and he laughs back at me as hysterically as I am. Ha ha, all this and that. And he was like, "I have your laptop." And so not only did he, because also, by the way, it's more boomer of me than Gen Xer, but evidently I didn't even have my passcode. My computer wasn't locked,
Oh
but
my God, dude.
it had slidden under my chair, and the guy behind me, or I thought it was his computer, and he was staying some guy. It looked like his. He got to his hotel room. He opened it up to do some work, and it was mine. And fortunately, he could get in, and he saw my number, and he called me. And he was at a hotel in Nashville, and I went and picked it up. 5 minutes after I had laughed hysterically and was like, I just got to let this go.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do. And then immediately the instant karma happened.
That's it. You gave up the attachment to it.
Gave up the attachment. So yeah, I would say that the ability to non-attached or to let go of the charge and access neutrality to a situation is then when we do get it's these little things really that are the experiences that change us in a more grand way. I think they feel big, it feels big when you lose a computer, or
Yeah.
obviously grief is the biggest thing.
I
But
just
like,
think, but it's just what you said is like you started laughing about it, It's like
Mhm.
I'm obviously not going to laugh through this grief, but I am going to be able to laugh even when I'm in grief.
Right. And it was more so the recognition. You recognize, you were mindful of the heart. That experience was the exchange. I think that was the epiphany for you there, how you access neutrality on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As the charge. And for me, it was like it happened to be laughing. But like laughter is not necessary. I would have put that out there. But sometimes it's a good tool.
It is necessary. He's a
Sometimes it is.
Capricorn. That's why he's saying it's not necessary. It's very necessary. Oh my God, it's not necessary. Why? Because we're supposed to work all the time? Wait till I
But
tell
you can access neutrality without it sometimes, I guess is what I'm saying. But it's a good,
You can.
When you're struggling, try laughing.
That's exactly right. Like, raise your vibe. Like, okay, confession. And obviously, because I sent it to you and to Noah and to Shannon at like 3 a.m. So, like, grief can wake you up. Like, wakes me up, and rather than being like, oh my God, I'm in grief, I'm not sleeping, I have so much I have to do today, like, how am I going to get through this? I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch this funny fucker on Instagram. That dude Spence, who does these great like comedy sketches, not Kevin Sullivan, shout out to him. But what's Spence's last name, Scott? Can you look at your phone? Taylor? Spence Taylor?
I'll look it up.
He is funny as all freaking get out, that cat.
Yeah, he is.
I mean,
I realized too, like, yeah, you're right. I think that there's not much laughter on the struggle bus. So like, it's almost like not allowed. If you're laughing, they don't even let you on the struggle bus. I don't think.
I think that a Capricorn made that rule. Yeah, his name is Spence Taylor.
Spence Taylor
on Instagram. Catch him. I, of course, was laughing at the Cancer stereotypes versus reality. I have to tell you, Mr. Pisces Moon, some of the Pisces stuff, a walk with a Pisces that I sent.
That was funny.
I just can't. So, I mean, this is the whole thing, is that even in the shit of it, you still can laugh.
Yeah.
You know, like you could still say, okay, what does my heart need? Sometimes it needs space. Sometimes it needs silence. Sometimes it might need a piece of watermelon. Sometimes it might need to drink water. Sometimes it might need to go take a nap. Like, just engage the conversation. What does life look like when I actually lead from my heart?
Yeah.
Just a consideration I want to invite folks into that space to take this Leo season, because we're in this beautiful glow and energy of Leo, and just kind of go with it and flow with it. That's all I got, bro. I can't even believe I busted this one. Oy.
Yeah. You did it.
Thanks, bro. When are we going to get our ink? Because we have to before she goes on vacation.
Yeah.
Eternity leave.
She extended it. We have until the end of August. Let's get it in Leo season.
Well, yeah, I think we're almost there anyway. So,
Yeah.
okay, while we're public, I'm going to just say this now.
Okay.
What if I don't want to get new ink, but just maybe you could get ink like I have, and I could get my seed of life colored?
I like it.
All right, great. Because
I'm down.
great. I think I've reached the maximum number
I'm
of
down.
pieces of ink. Thank you. Okay, good. Because a friend of mine the other day was explaining some people from California that had like a bunch of ink. And she goes, not like I'm saying anything is wrong with that. And I was like, oh my God, I've crossed over into a different category now. Seriously. Bro, you got some affirmations for us? Because this is a very unique blend here today.
Yeah. Okay. I trust my light. I lead with my heart. I value my feelings. I include my feelings. There are no wrong or bad feelings. My creativity is a soul practice. I see me. I attract others that see me. My presence is authentic. My heart is in charge. I am radiant. I love myself. And I love myself more.
Right on. Yes, thank you, bro. Thank you so much. And friends out there, thank you so much for being a part of our journey, our growth, our experience, because really we're just all here walking each other home, friends. Just remember to lead with your most beautiful, radiant heart. Everybody, we need your light here, and we're so thankful and so grateful that you listen. Stay empowered, friends, and we'll see you next time. Blessings.
Peace.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Empowerment Unleashed Now. Please subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform and let us know how this helped you.
Join us right here every week for another episode.